As the scorching sun beat down on the vast plains of Texas, I, Ethan Collins, embarked on an unexpected journey that would forever change my life. Little did I know that a devastating car crash awaited me just around the bend. It was a fateful day, the 15th of June, 2022, when my path took a sudden turn. The accident left me broken and disabled, confined to a wheelchair for the foreseeable future. Each day felt like a constant battle against the limitations of my own body. My once agile limbs were now rendered useless, and the world seemed to have lost its vibrant colors. But I refused to surrender to despair. Determined to find purpose amidst the chaos, I sought out a new opportunity that would allow me to make a difference. It was then that I found myself immersed in the world of emergency services, taking on the role of a 911 operator. The small town of Pineville became my new home, a serene oasis tucked away in the heart of Texas. Nestled amidst picturesque landscapes and a close-knit community, Pineville exuded a sense of tranquility that served as a stark contrast to the chaos I encountered on a daily basis. I joined the Pineville Emergency Dispatch Center, a bustling hub of activity where dedicated professionals worked tirelessly to ensure the safety and well-being of the town's residents. The center, located in a modern building near the town square, hummed with the sound of ringing phones, beeping computers, and the urgent voices of dispatchers coordinating responses. My workstation, nestled in a corner of the room, was equipped with state-of-the-art technology, including multiple screens displaying real-time information from emergency calls. It was here that I would spend countless hours, acting as the critical link between those in distress and the emergency responders racing to their aid. My fellow dispatchers quickly became like family, guiding me through the intricacies of the job and sharing their wisdom gained from years of experience. Emily, a seasoned dispatcher with a warm smile and a reassuring voice, became my mentor and confidant. She taught me the importance of remaining calm under pressure, of listening intently to the frantic voices on the other end of the line. The first few weeks were challenging, as I familiarized myself with the protocols, codes, and procedures necessary to handle emergencies effectively. Each call brought a new set of obstacles, from heart-wrenching cries for help to frantic pleas for assistance in dire situations. But I persevered, driven by a deep-rooted desire to bring solace to those in need. As time passed, I developed a keen intuition, honing my ability to extract crucial information from frantic callers, providing first aid guidance, and dispatching the appropriate emergency services. Every successful response filled me with an immense sense of satisfaction, reminding me that despite my physical limitations, I could still make a difference. The days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months. Pineville became more than just a town. It became my sanctuary, a place where I found purpose in the darkest of times. The people I served became more than just voices on the other end of the line. They became the heartbeat of my existence. And so, as the sun set over the rolling plains of Texas, I embraced my new role as a 911 operator, knowing that even though my body was confined, my spirit remained unbreakable. In the face of adversity, I had discovered a resilience within myself that would forever define me as Ethan Collins, the man who turned his tragedy into an opportunity to save lives. As a 911 operator, every day is a new adventure. I wake up each morning with a sense of purpose, knowing that the lives of the people in my community depend on my quick thinking and ability to remain calm under pressure. My days start with a cup of strong coffee and a quick review of the latest updates in emergency response protocols. I check my equipment to ensure that everything is working as it should, from my headset to my computer screens, displaying the most up-to-date information on the latest incidents in Pineville. Once I'm settled in, I wait for the first call of the day to come in. It could be anything from a minor fender bender to a life-threatening emergency, and I never know what to expect. My fellow dispatchers are a lively bunch, and we often engage in friendly banter between calls to lighten the mood. There's Sarah, the bubbly blonde with a contagious laugh, and Carlos, the stoic veteran with a heart of gold. And then there's Mike, the prankster of the group, always ready with a joke or a witty remark. But when the calls start coming in, we all get down to business. Each call is unique, and we have to be ready for anything. Some callers are calm and collected, while others are frantic and barely coherent. But no matter the situation, we have to remain focused and extract the critical information needed to send the appropriate response teams. The job can be stressful at times, but there are moments of levity that keep us going. Like the time we received a call from a woman who had accidentally locked herself in her bathroom and couldn't get out. We dispatched the fire department, who arrived on the scene and promptly rescued her from the confines of her own bathroom. As the day wears on, we never know what might come our way, but we are always ready to spring into action and provide the help our community needs. And then, just as the day is winding down, the phone rings. It's a call that will change my life forever, although I don't know it yet. I take a deep breath and answer, ready for whatever may come my way. The phone rings and I answer it, immediately greeted by a frantic voice on the other end. It's a young woman, her voice trembling with fear and desperation. My heart pounds in my chest as I listen to her words. "I'm trapped in the trunk of a car," she gasps, struggling to catch her breath. I think the car is sinking into water. Please, you have to help me." My mind races as I try to keep her calm. "Mum, I'm here to help. Can you hear me? What's your name? Do you have any details about your location?" But before she can respond, the call abruptly ends, leaving me with a sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach. Without wasting a second, I alert the emergency responders, providing them with the last known location of the call. Time is of the essence, and we cannot afford to waste a moment. Over the next 48 hours, we work tirelessly to unravel the mystery of the phantom call. Dispatch units are deployed to the reported location, scouring the area with a sense of urgency, but what they find leaves us bewildered. There is no submerged car, no evidence of a struggle, and no signs of the young woman anywhere. It's as if she has vanished into thin air, leaving us grasping at shadows. We meticulously review the call logs, searching for any clues that might lead us to the truth. But the number used to contact us remains untraceable, an enigma shrouded in uncertainty. Speculations run rampant through the town, igniting a mix of doubt, fear and frustration. Some dismiss the call as a cruel prank, an elaborate hoax designed to torment our emotions. Others hold on to the possibility that it was a genuine cry for help, fearing the worst may have befallen the young woman. Haunted by the urgency in her voice, I become consumed by the mystery. Sleep becomes a fleeting luxury as I pore over every detail, replaying the call in my mind, searching for any overlooked clues. Days turn into sleepless nights as I delve deeper into the investigation. I reach out to experts in telecommunications, seeking their insights and expertise. Together, we meticulously analyze every shred of available data, trying to unravel the truth hidden within the labyrinth of uncertainty. The entire town buzzes with anticipation, longing for answers and closure. Candlelight vigils are held, prayers are whispered, and support for the young woman's family pours in from every corner of the community. But amidst the fervor, doubts creep in. Could it have been an elaborate hoax, a cruel prank that played on our emotions? Or was there a grain of truth, obscured by circumstances beyond our understanding? I refuse to give up. Determination courses through my veins as I pursue every lead, no matter how faint. I consult with colleagues, brainstorming theories and examining the case from every angle. The clock ticks relentlessly, reminding me that time is running out. But I am resolved to leave no stone unturned, to exhaust every resource until we find the answers we desperately seek. As the 48-hour mark approaches, tension grips the town. The young woman's fate hangs in the balance, and we are left with more questions than answers. But in the face of uncertainty, hope persists. We rally together, united in our determination to uncover the truth, refusing to let her voice be silenced or forgotten. And so, with a renewed sense of purpose, we continue our tireless pursuit, determined to bring resolution to the mystery that has gripped our community, praying for a glimmer of light in the midst of the darkness that surrounds us. The next day, I find myself seated in a dimly lit room, surrounded by files and photographs from a cold case that has haunted our department for over a decade. Detective Sarah Mitchell, a seasoned investigator with a reputation for solving the unsolvable, sits across from me, her gaze fixed on the evidence before us. Together, we pore over the details of the phantom call, comparing it to the chilling accounts from the cold case that still remains unsolved. The similarities are striking, sending shivers down our spines. It can't be a coincidence, Detective Mitchell murmurs, her voice filled with a mix of disbelief and determination. The voice, the urgency, it's eerily similar to the case from 10 years ago. My mind races as I recall the case she refers to, a young girl who vanished without a trace, leaving her parents heartbroken and a community in turmoil. Despite countless hours of investigation, we could never bring her home or provide her family with the closure they desperately needed. With a newfound sense of purpose, Detective Mitchell and I decide to take a bold step. We retrieve the voice recording from the phantom call and share it with the grieving parents of the missing daughter, Mr. and Mrs. Anderson. The meeting takes place in a quiet room at the police station, the air thick with anticipation and sorrow. As the voice recording plays, Mr. and Mrs. Anderson listen intently, their eyes filled with a mixture of hope and trepidation. A profound silence follows the playback. Their faces reflect a tumult of emotions, as if they have heard a long-lost melody that resonates deep within their souls. It sounds just like her, Mrs. Anderson whispers, her voice trembling with both sorrow and longing. It's our daughter, it's her voice. Tears well up in my eyes as I witness this bittersweet moment, knowing that it reopens old wounds but also offers a glimmer of hope, a spark that perhaps after all these years we might be closer to uncovering the truth. Detective Mitchell assures the Andersons that we will leave no stone unturned in our renewed efforts to solve the cold case. It's a promise that carries the weight of years of frustration and despair. As we leave the room, the gravity of the situation settles upon us. The weight of the past and the pressure of the present intertwine, urging us to find answers and deliver justice. Back in the dispatch center, the atmosphere is tense as we wait for the next call to come in. The phone rings, and I take a deep breath before answering, my heart pounding with anticipation. 911, what's your emergency? I say, my voice steady but my mind racing with a million possibilities. And there it is. A familiar voice tinged with fear and desperation resonates through the line. It's her, the same voice from before, reaching out to us once again. But before I can react, before I can even speak a single word, the call abruptly ends, leaving me suspended in a moment of agonizing uncertainty. As the room falls silent, I am left standing there, my mind reeling with questions. What is happening? Where is she? And most importantly, will we ever find her in time? The anticipation hangs in the air, like a fragile thread connecting us to a truth that remains just out of reach. The phone lies in my hand, a lifeline to an unfolding mystery that threatens to consume us all. And so, we brace ourselves, ready to face the unknown, determined to follow every lead and find the missing pieces that will unlock the truth. The journey continues, and the weight of our purpose presses upon us as we await the next call. Leaving work after a long and exhausting day as a 911 operator, I settle into the driver's seat of my car, eager to escape the tension that lingers from the mysterious calls. Just as I'm about to start the engine, my iPhone rings, jolting me from my thoughts. I fumble for the device and answer, my heart pounding with a mix of anticipation and dread. To my surprise, it's her again, the girl from the previous calls. This time the connection holds and her voice fills the car. She describes a woman, providing chilling details that sound eerily similar to Detective Sarah Mitchell, who had taken an interest in the case I've been working on. The air thickens with a sense of disbelief and mounting suspicion. As the call abruptly ends once more, a chilling realization dawns on me. Could Detective Mitchell be involved in these horrifying crimes? The pieces start to click together, and a wave of shock washes over me. But I keep my thoughts to myself, unsure of what to do next. Doubt and fear intertwine within me as I grapple with this newfound suspicion. Should I confront Detective Mitchell? Should I share my concerns with my superiors? The weight of this revelation threatens to fracture the fragile trust I have in those around me. For now, I choose to tread cautiously, gathering more evidence and searching for a connection that could confirm or dispel my suspicions. Every interaction with Detective Mitchell becomes fraught with tension as I analyze her every move, searching for any signs that align with the horrifying truth I fear. The days blur together as I delve deeper into the investigation, relentlessly pursuing the truth while keeping a watchful eye on Detective Mitchell. I meticulously comb through case files, re-examine crime scenes, and connect the dots between the cold cases and the phantom calls. But as the puzzle pieces slowly align, the gravity of the situation becomes overwhelming. I am faced with the harsh reality that the person I suspect may be the very perpetrator we've been tirelessly searching for. The weight of this knowledge bears down on me, threatening to consume my every thought. I struggle with the weight of the truth, torn between my duty to serve and protect and the realization that my colleague, Detective Mitchell, may be hiding a dark secret. As the sun sets on another grueling day, I find myself alone in my car, wrestling with the truth that has unfolded before me. The girl's haunting voice resonates in my mind, her description striking an eerie resemblance to Detective Mitchell. Yet doubts and uncertainties persist. How can I be sure? How can I gather the evidence necessary to expose the truth without jeopardizing the investigation or putting others at risk? As I sit in the silence, contemplating the path forward, the phone in my hand feels like a powerful tool capable of exposing the darkness that hides beneath the surface. It holds the potential to reveal the secrets that could bring justice to the victims and expose the true identity of the perpetrator. But for now, I must proceed with caution, gathering more information and building a solid case before I can confront the unimaginable. The road ahead is treacherous and filled with uncertainties, but my determination remains unwavering. And so, with a heavy heart and a resolute spirit, I prepare myself for the revelations that lie just beyond the horizon, uncertain of the darkness that awaits me on this harrowing journey. As doubts and suspicions continued to gnaw at my conscience, I felt the need to confide in someone I could trust. Another detective, Detective Michael Ramirez, had been working closely with Detective Mitchell on various cases. Though hesitant, I reached out to him, hoping he would lend an ear and offer some insight. We agreed to meet in a secluded location, away from prying eyes and listening ears. It was in the dead of night when I drove to a storage unit facility on the outskirts of town. The dimly lit corridors echoed with silence as I maneuvered my wheelchair out of the car, determined to get to the truth. Detective Ramirez emerged from the shadows, his face etched with concern. We exchanged a glance that conveyed a mix of apprehension and determination. There, inside the storage unit, we knew we could speak freely without fear of being overheard. "Thanks for meeting me, Ramirez," I began, my voice laden with tension. "I've been harboring some serious suspicions about Detective Mitchell, and I couldn't keep it to myself any longer." Ramirez's gaze met mine, his eyes reflecting a mix of curiosity and trepidation. "I've had my doubts too, Ethan," he admitted, his voice low but resolute. "There have been moments, small details that just didn't add up. It's like she's hiding something." A heavy silence settled between us as the weight of our suspicions hung in the air. We knew the risks involved in pursuing this path, but we couldn't turn a blind eye to the possibility of an accomplice within our ranks. "We need to tread carefully," I cautioned, my voice barely above a whisper. "If our suspicions are correct, exposing her without concrete evidence could put us all in danger." Ramirez nodded in agreement, his expression determined. "I've been digging deeper into her background, trying to find any connections that could link her to the cold cases we're investigating. We need solid proof, Ethan." I took a deep breath, the gravity of the situation settling upon me once again. "I've been gathering information too," I admitted, reaching into my bag to retrieve a folder containing the evidence I had managed to compile. "But we need more, something that ties her directly to these crimes." The sound of distant footsteps echoed through the facility, alerting us to the passing time. We knew we couldn't stay there much longer without drawing unwanted attention. "We'll keep digging," Ramirez affirmed, his voice laced with determination. "But we have to be cautious, Ethan. This is bigger than both of us, and we can't afford to make mistakes." With a silent understanding, we exchanged a final nod, our resolve strengthening. It was time to unveil the truth, to expose the darkness that hid behind the facade of law enforcement. As I wheeled myself back to my car, thoughts of the daunting task ahead filled my mind. The road to justice seemed treacherous and uncertain, but I couldn't back down. The darkness within our own ranks needed to be brought into the light, no matter the cost. And so, with the weight of suspicion resting heavily upon us, I drove off into the night, determined to uncover the truth that would shake our department to its core. 3 days later, Ramirez called to tell me that he found something that will break the case wide open and that he needs to meet me back at the facility that night. As I arrived at the storage unit facility, the eerie stillness of the night adding to the growing sense of unease. Ramirez had sent me a text, directing me to a specific storage unit. Suspicion stirred within me, but I followed his instructions, wheeling myself toward the designated unit. As I entered the dimly lit hallway, the sound of my wheelchair wheels echoed eerily, magnifying the tension in the air. The scent of mildew and dust filled my nostrils, adding to the unsettling ambience. With each turn of the wheels, my apprehension mounted, a knot forming in the pit of my stomach. Finally, I reached the storage unit Ramirez had specified. The number was barely visible, painted on the aged metal door. Taking a deep breath, I pushed the door open and entered, immediately feeling a chill crawl down my spine. But what greeted me inside the unit was beyond anything I could have anticipated. The entire room was shrouded in plastic sheeting, covering every surface, obscuring the contents. The sight was deeply unsettling, an eerie tableau that suggested something sinister lurking within. Panic surged within me as I turned to leave, my mind racing with the horrifying possibilities. But as I attempted to retreat, a flickering light illuminated the shadows at the far end of the room. My heart hammered against my chest as I strained to make out the figures emerging from the darkness. There they stood, a man and a woman, their features obscured by the dim lighting. My blood ran cold as a sinking realization washed over me. Their silhouettes bore an uncanny resemblance to Detective Mitchell and Detective Ramirez. The machetes they clutched in their hands glinted ominously, casting long shadows across the room. Fear and confusion intertwined within me, my mind grappling to comprehend the nightmarish scenario before me. Doubts about Ramirez, which had been subtly growing, now intensified. Had he been orchestrating this twisted charade all along? My trust in him wavered, crumbling beneath the weight of this horrifying revelation. Just as the chilling realization struck that I was about to meet a gruesome fate, Detective Ramirez and Detective Mitchell stepped forward, revealing themselves in a macabre twist of fate. Their faces, once familiar and trusted, now wore sinister masks of malice. The shock of their betrayal jolted through my veins, leaving me breathless and disoriented. The air crackled with an unsettling silence as I struggled to comprehend the twisted web of deception that had ensnared me. How had I been so blind to the darkness that dwelled within them? Words failed me, trapped in my throat as the two detectives closed in, their eyes gleaming with a sinister intensity. I glimpsed their true nature, a malevolent force that had manipulated the very fabric of our shared reality. The trust I had placed in them shattered like fragile glass. Before I could react, their intentions became painfully clear. Death loomed menacingly, a haunting presence that threatened to consume me. The world around me narrowed to a claustrophobic tunnel as I braced myself for the final, fatal blow.